Um, Good day, everyone, and welcome to another financial modeling and evaluation session. Today, we're going to be talking about automating payrolls variation analysis in Microsoft Excel, and our presenter is Lala. So, your UrBizEdge is in a collaboration with the Financial Modeling Institute, and the Financial Modeling Institute is an institute where you can get accredited for your financial modeling skills. They have three different levels, which you can check out the exams. Then your business is a registered Microsoft consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. They're also the developers of the Nigeria financial market tool on the Microsoft store. And this is the upcoming training calendar. Then you can also check out the calendar on the website, which I will later share in the chat box later. So today our presenter is Lala, and Lala works as an internal audit analyst. He also previously worked as an auditor for a financial firm. He's passionate about financial data and technology, and he has trained so many people on Microsoft Excel and also developed spreadsheet automation solution. He's also a CFI um, credited and also a Microsoft certified Excel expert and also a graduate of the finance and banking. Hello, Lala. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Okay. So you can share your screen maybe to start presenting.
Okay. Currently, is my screen on?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So
Okay.
yes, I'll stop sharing. It's just have you seen it? Yeah, yes.
On now.
Yes, yeah. Your screen is on now.
It's on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Good day, everyone. Uh, I welcome you to today's section. As Benny has rightly said, today we are going to be looking at automating payroll variance analysis in Excel. So we quickly look at why do we need to automate variance analysis. As we all know, payroll is one of the very important tasks in any organization. So because of this, there is need for us to do a sort of month-on-month variance analysis. What that simply implies is we are trying to do a kind of comparison of what was paid in the previous month. Then we compare that to what we want to pay in the current month. So we quickly use Excel to streamline and to simplify the process. So let me show you the sample data that we are going to make use of for this exercise. So I have the payroll here. This payroll you are looking at is just a sample dummy data. So here we have staff ID. I deliberately left this one out. These are the name of staff. Every payroll should have name. So we have period, and we have the various pay head. So here now for the period, currently for our case study we are going to be dealing with today, I just picked 3 months. So this is, if you filter this, you look at it, you see this is January, February up to March. So we'll be using this as a sample. It can be for 12 months, it can be for more than 12 months. So let's just use this as a case study. So what I've done is I've been able to combine the 3 months payroll, which is January, February up to March. We'll be able to combine that into a single database. If you have another month, let's say April, it's a matter of just adding it to your database here. So this will serve as our source data, this payroll that we have here. So now to go straight away into the variance analysis itself, let's insert a new. So this we can just name it variance. So before I forgot, this database is already format. I'm trying to make use of table structure here. So everything we'll be dealing with will be table structure reference. So this is already converted into a table. As you can see, table design tab here. So this data is already converted into a table. And also I've named it, this is the name I've given it. You can see payroll. So this is the name of this database. So let me move to the variance. So now for the variance analysis, what we are going to do is we are going to do month-on-month comparison. Let's start from scratch. So here can be our period. No, let this one be our staff ID. So this is our staff ID. So this can be the staff name. Then we can have our period here. For example, let's say we have this period is a function of what we have here. Okay, we have 2022 here, so this has to be 2022. So for January, then this will be for February. You can format this into day, month. We just remove the. You can just use this, or we can even use the month only. So we have our months. I think let me open my formula bar. So you have my formula bar. So this is the name of the staff. This is the month, current month. Okay, depending, we can make our current month here. It doesn't matter. So this is current month, this is the previous month. So for staff ID, we go to our database, which is the payroll. Then, as we all know, this is 3 periods. We have January to March. So certainly each of these ID will be repeated for each of the staff. We can have this ID OHT1 for January. If you go to February, we can also have it here. So what we are going to do in the variance worksheet here is to extract all the unique ID. So what we are going to do is to extract all the unique ID from the database. In fact, there is no need to be moving, to be jumping, since we are using table. So we have unique. So we just have our payroll. So we have our unique ID. Then our payroll. So we pick our ID here. This is our ID. So this is the list of our ID. Then we are done with that. All these are unique ID from the database. So now we can now move on to the February amount. Now for the February, currently let's just make use of the basic pay for the February. Now for us to do that, we can just make use of since our criteria will be, we have two criteria here. We'll be making use of the period, which is the month, and also we'll be using the staff ID. So it will be OHT1 February. So we can make use of some products to do this. Let's make use of some products for this. So we have our first array. Since we have our payroll, staff ID, this will be equals to this. So we are checking wherever our staff ID from our database is equals to OHT1. That's the first criteria. Then the second criteria will be for the period. We are going to be using period. That will be period. That is period. Period equals to February. That is the second criteria. Then we now conclude it with our payroll for February. So we have February. Okay, let's make use of basic pay. So this will give us the February basic pay for February with the staff ID OHT1. Okay, supposed to start this with the, so we have this. So this is for February. Then we can send this down. If we send this down, we are going to be having error because for February, we need to log this February so that it will not move to the next cell. So what we are going to do is for C2, we are going to log that absolutely with F4. So we can send it down. So this is the amount for February for basic pay. You can see. Now, we should be able to just drag this formula to the other side. But before we do that, we need to ensure that our cell referencing is actually right. We can see that we are getting nothing here because this C2 has been locked absolutely. So we need to allow C to move to D while 2 remain constant. So what we need to do is just to edit this. So we only log the 2. Then you can drag to the other side. You can see we are still getting the wrong answer because this staff ID, when I move to the other side, you can see that it has changed to staff name. You still need to maintain the staff ID, the feed called staff ID. So what I need to do here is to log this feed, the table reference for staff ID. I need to log that. For table, you can use F4 to do the logging. So what you just need to do to log that absolutely is, you can just put your double quote there. Then when you use double quote, then you can just for staff ID. So you copy this Then this is how to log absolutely using table structure reference. So you close it with square brackets, then you close this also with square bracket. So this is locked. So for the period also, we need to also log that. We need to log the period. So we can also do the same for the period. We can do the same thing there. So we can just copy the, so you close the square bracket. So you put your square bracket here. So I think it should be fine like this. So you can now drag to the other side. Oh, okay. We still need to log this basic also. We need to log the basic. We need to log this basic also. So let's also log that. We copy this. So I think there is still one place we need to log. Okay, this A3, this staff ID, we also need to log that because you can see the A3 is moving to B3, which is not supposed to be. So we need to also apply cell referencing here. So let's log the A. So you log A, then you can drag to the other side. So you can fill it down. So this is for basic pay, January and February. Now, if let's check our data source. You can see we have NIN here, which is this place 11/12. So let's go to our data source for February. That's for February. 11/12 for February. Now you can see, if you check here, you can see that in February for staff ID 11/12, there is nothing there. So that's why we are having NIN here for February. But for January, we have these two amounts for basic pay. So anywhere we don't have the staff ID, we'll be having NIN here. Now, this NIN, this empty that we are having here, this actually, if you look at how payroll operates, this we can look at it from the angle of, okay, likely this staff is in our payroll in January, but in February, probably the person has exited. So from this analysis, we can have exited staff. We can have new intake from this variance analysis that we just did now. So if you go here, you can do a kind of remark. You can do a remark column here. You can do a remark here. You can do a kind of conditional statement. You can say, for example, if you look at it here, it's going to be from here. So we can have the condition that, let's say, a two condition, which is we can have a scenario where January and February will be nil. So we can have something like this. Let's say this is equals to this for first condition. Then we can also have this place equals to nil, 0 for the second condition. So if we have a kind of scenario like this, where we have nothing here, we have nothing in February, then that can imply a former staff, a staff that has exited even before January or February. So we can just put a remark like, let's say, a former staff. So we can have something like that. Then we can also have another scenario like this, where we have this name, then we have value here. In this kind of scenario, then we'll be looking at exited staff here, because this place we have value in January, but February the person is missing. So probably the person has exited the company. So we can just put something like exited staff here. So for this, so we can have something like this. So we can send it down. Something is missing here. Cannot be, I think. Oh, okay. If this condition is this, then we have former staff. Okay, I need to state the condition. The condition, if this is equal to okay, if this February is equal to, let's say 0, then we have exited staff for this. Then if otherwise, you can just put that as 0. So we can see now. So here we have January, we have February, then nothing is happening there. The staff is still with us. But here we have January figure, but February is missing. Then probably the staff has exited. Here, the same scenario here also. We have exited because February, this is our February. If you go down, then this is exited also, exited. Now, this is where I'm talking about. If you look at this place now, look at this place. The scenario here is that even the staff has exited before January or even February. So maybe the staff has exited maybe even last year, but it's still in our database because it's a former staff. So in this kind of scenario where we have name in the 2 months, we'll be having former staff. But where we have NIN in the current year, we'll be having exited. So that now for this kind of scenario, there is another scenario I'm looking at here now. Here we have NIN here, but we have value here. Now, this February, we have value in February, but January, we have nothing. So this kind of scenario now, we can say this is a new staff. All these people, we can conclude that they are new staff because we don't have them in January, so probably they are newly engaged in February. So we can change this condition that we have here, or we can make it new staff, or better say we can leave it like this, but it's better we make it we make that scenario new staff. That is, this place is equal to that will be another condition. If January is equal to 0, then we can make this new. This can be our new staff. So then we can have nothing for the others. So we have adjusted the, now let's go down. Now you can see, so all this now we can say they are new staff because we have them in the current month, but we don't have them in the previous month. So now the value we have make use here, we have used basic payroll, basic pay. Now the question is that what if you want to know the variance for housing, transport, and other pay elements? What we can do is we can either put another criteria in this same sum product, or you can create another variance analysis by the side. But let's incorporate a new criteria inside this sum product so that we have all our reports in one place here. Now let's do something like this. Let's just create a kind of data. Let's create a kind of okay. Let's create. We can just create. We have basic. We have housing. So these are the various. I want to transpose this. So we can just transpose this. Then we can do a kind of a data validation here. Let's go to data, click on data validation, list. So let's pick up our list here. So, okay. Now we have a data validation here for basic and other pay element. So now let's adjust, we can adjust this function by using this criteria for each of the pay elements. This is where we are going to do the adjustment, this array that we have here. So we can just make use of Okay, let me do it by this side so that we see what we are going to have. Let's do a kind of a X lookup. So let's do X lookup. So let's do X lookup here. We have our lookup value here. Then we have our database, which is, so this time around, okay, let me explain this. This lookup value, we are actually looking up this housing in the in our header here, from this header that we have here. So we are looking at where is our housing sitting on in this database, which is here. So we are trying to use VLOOKUP to extract that. So let's not say X lookup. Okay, we are using X lookup. Lookup value is this. Then our payroll database. This time around, this is all our feed in our payroll database. So this time around, we are making use of the header. So we are making use of the header. Then return array. Return array is going to be our database. I think it's going to be the database as a whole. So you can see we have for housing. So if you change this to transport, so these are the payments of value under the feed called transport. If you change this one to utility, you can see these are the feed under utility. Let's check it. We have 96. Let's go to our payroll here. You can see 96. If you go to the variance, you see 22850. Let's go here, 22850. So as we are changing each of these lists in the data validation, our XLOOKUP output will change. So what we are going to do now is we are going to feed in this XLOOKUP into our sum product so that we are going to have everything at once, at a go. So what we are going to do is we are going to eliminate this criteria here. So we can, since we have done this here, we can just copy this and feed it in here. So now it should work. So now you can see, then you drag it down. No. Why value error? Okay. I think, okay, for our C1, we need to also do an anchoring for this C1 so that it will not go down. So let's lock C1 absolutely. Let's lock that absolutely. So can now feed it down. Can feed this to the side. So here now we have, so once we just change each of the pay elements, then you have your report changing. So you can see if you want to have your employer contribution, you want to have transport, so you can see. Then another thing we can add to this report. Hi everyone. I hope there is no question for now. Okay, thank you. So another thing we can do now is we can So another thing we can do, I think we can delete this, or still leave it by the side. So another thing we can do now is for us to have our summary report by the side here, because as far as this variance analysis is concerned, those areas that we actually need to focus on that are exceptions are those places we have exited staff, where we have difference. You can see we have difference. So those are the area we need to actually focus on. So we can create another report. Now, for this remark side, we can have, now we have dealt with three scenarios: former staff, existing staff, and new staff. There is also another scenario that we can have. We can have a scenario where the February pay is higher than the January pay, or vice versa, or the January is higher than February. So we can include that condition. Instead of this, using this 0, we can include that condition here by saying just do this minus this. So we can just do the difference between the two sides, if there is any. Because you can see now. You can see there is a difference here now. One of the pay is higher than the other. You can see another difference here. You can see another difference. You can see another difference. So these are the 4 conditions we can have. We can have former staff, existing staff, new staff. We can also have the difference between the pay month on month. So now we can do, we can just do a kind of a summary report by the side here, or we can put it in a separate place, but let's do it in one place here. So you can just extract all these exceptions that we have, which are the exited staff, the increase or decrease in pay, the former staff, and the new staff. We may not bother so much about the former staff. So we can do something like this here. So, I'm sorry. So we can just format this so that we have everything will be consistent. Okay, just need to go. So we can just do a kind of a filter to bring out those exceptions. So we have our array. So we have our criteria. So our criteria will be this remark color is equal to, we have exited staff. That's the first criteria, because we are dealing with all conditions, because it can either be exited, it can be new staff, it can be either increase or decrease in the payroll. So it's all, we use the addition plus for the second condition, which is also this column here equals to have new staff. So another condition we can also have is a situation where we have increase or decrease. For increase or decrease in the payroll, then we can use the condition that anywhere this column here, is not, because we can have some zero here, it's not equal to, that this is greater than 0. I don't want to use greater than 0 because we can have a situation where we can have a salary that is less than 0. So the most perfect thing we can do here is to use not equals to 0, so that any value, either negative or positive, it will be extracted to our report. So we can just close that. So we can have this. Oh, okay, for staff name, we don't have anything, staff name. Okay, these are the exited. So we can see we have the exited staff, we have increase in pay, increase, the exited. We can also have the new staff. These are the new staff. Then we can also have, so these are the exceptions that we have, that we can now critically look at, and now look at them one after the other. The exited staff, why there are increase in the pay from month to month. So don't forget, this we have already set this up, so we can change this one, each of the field, we can change it. And if another scenario is, you can, if you don't want to use this drop down, you can create each of the field one by one and spread it, so that you'll be able to have a look at each one of them. So this are what we can do for us to streamline the payroll variance, because this on the spot we'll be able to know what has really happened. Oh, for the period, we can also set up a data validation for the period, so that we're able to change the period month on month. We can set up okay, let's set up something here for the period, because we are using 2020. So this will be February. So we can set up something like this. So this for each of the months. Okay, we can make it up to December. So we can just set up a validation there. You can go to data, the data validation list. So we go here. So we can select this. So with this, so we can just paste the validation here. So we can, here we can change our period. Okay, we can also format, let's format the source so that it will be showing January, February. Okay, something like this. So we go to the variance, so you can see, you can have current period here, you can have February here. Now, for the, it's very important, we can put a kind of a, in the data validation, so that we know this is the current period. And put a kind of a message here. current period. So we know this is current period. Certainly this will be the preceding period. This is the previous period. So this is the current period. If this is blocking, you can just drag this one to the side here, so that when you are done, you can just move it back. So you know currently we don't have May data there. So currently we have January to March. So we can compare current, which is February, then to January. No, this will be February. Then you can change this one to January. So we have our remark here, then we also have our report by the side here. So this is how you can just quickly, so when you have the current month, you can just include it in your, when you include the current month here, everything certainly will flow to the variance analysis, because you have already, you can just, maybe you want to test that, you can just do something like this. So we know this, let's say this for the another period. For example, just say this for April. Let's say this is for April. For example, I just want to use this as a sample. So April, so let's say this for April. So for example, let's say this for April. So because we are using table, we have already used table structure reference here. So we expect that April should flow to this our variance analysis. So we can have, for example, let's say we have April for the current period. Then we have this for the previous period, just for example. So we can see what we have. This is April, March. So this, then you can also, don't forget, you can toggle this also. And so with this, you're able to know what actually transpire between your payroll month on month. I think I'm on time. So Mr. Mike.
President, I'll hand over to Ifeanyi. Is the one coordinating today.
Okay.
Ifeanyi, all right.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for a wonderful presentation and the insights on how to automate your payrolls. Thank you so much. Then, so I need to ask, are there any questions for anybody in the house? Okay, so someone asked if you'll be making the sheets available, like the worksheets. Would it be possible for you to share it?
I think is this recording going to be made available for people?
Yes, it's going to be.
I mean, they can have.
Yes.
Okay. Since they can have access to the recording, I think it will be fine for them to also practice this, so that the other sense is just for them to also master one or two things. Because in the process of doing it, they also because that is the hour I also know some of these things. So I think let's go. Let them go through the video and also practice it. I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay. So I wanted to ask two questions. So the first question was, so how did you get started in finance? Like, did you like studies in school, or was it switch career?
Oh, thank you. Well, my background is it's a bit of finance, because my background, my undergraduate, I study banking and finance. So the background has always been finance. It's not really a switch as such. So I love finance, I love data.
Then, okay, the second question. So for those that want to get started and don't have a career in finance, are there any advice you have for those that want to get started in finance?
Well, for those that want to get started in finance, they should just learn all the skills required for them to function well in finance. There are several skills, as we know, that we are in the data era. So they should just learn all the skills, be good in Excel, no Power BI. So let them just master the skill required for them to function well while at work, because some of these things they are hands-on, and when you are in the working place, they want to see you deliver. So with Excel and some other tools like Power Query, Power BI, so they should get their hand dirty with those tools, so that they will be able to function well in their various career.
Thanks so much again for this session. I will hope to see you again for another session.
You're welcome.
So if there are no other questions, so the video will be made available on YouTube by week on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. We'll have another session in an hour time on Microsoft Excel.
Like Ifeanyi is having some network issues. So let me.
All right, thank you.
Chip in. So what Ifeanyi is saying, Ifeanyi, it's like your network is fading in and out. Okay. I was about to show them my screen about the next session, and also once again thank Mr. Folorunso Lala for the wonderful session. He made it very practical, and it's interesting. So I was just surprised that why is that nobody's salary went up? Finance people, they don't like to increase people's salary. Thank you once again, Mr. Folorunso, and to everybody. I will show you the next session, and we will share the link. If I will share the link, it's happening in about 1 hour's time, and it's something that I think you should all join, because the person we have used to organize competitions, and he has this amazing lineup of content that many people. Is the organizer of the Excel Olympics conference. So it's an opportunity for you to ask him questions about those things that, you usually, most of us see them from afar, and it's something that it would be nice to know the secret behind them, right? So this is an opportunity for you to come learn those things. So please try to join. We are sharing the link, and happy Workers' Day. Once again, thank you to our special guest. Thank you to everybody. And I don't know if I has anything to say. We should have shared the feedback form, but not a worry. We'll always do that another time so that people can volunteer speakers for subsequent ones. So is there any other thing you think I've missed, or I can?
No, that's not that. So the session can end the session.
Yeah.
No, there's not that thing. Okay.
Bye bye everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday and happy Workers' Day, happy new month.